welcome to another episode of the Work Shoot Show. And yes, it is time for the Work Shoot Show Awards. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Lyn and Pete, joined by our other host, Mr. Peter McGinn. And Pete, we have a very special guest. Why don't you introduce our guest today, brother?
Yeah, this is Josh. I mean, I'll let him do it, but we met. He also does an anime podcast called Afro Anime, and I was lucky enough to join him on his Anime of the Year episode, and he talked about how he liked wrestling, and I was like, yo, why don't you come over here and talk wrestling with us? That way we can blend the cultures and everything together. So, Josh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, man, it's your boy RTJosh, man, one of the only co-hosts of Afro Anime Pod. Just like Pete said, I've done doing anime podcasting for about maybe 4 years now. Been on YouTube about 2.5. Officially hit 100 subscribers just before last year, before the end of the year. We had Pete on as for our Anime of the Year special. Great guest, great time. The guys had a blast talking with you. They definitely love you. You're always welcome back anytime, Pete. You and the rest of what do you say? Anime just need to give me a heads up, and we'll schedule a day.
Appreciate it.
Honored to be here as well. Don't really get to appear on a lot of wrestling podcasts, and I do spend a lot of time listening and watching them. So definitely excited to do kind of the end of the year wrap of wrestling in terms of the favorite pay-per-views, promos, and all that. I have my list ready, so I'm ready to get started whenever you guys are.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. Love to see what we're going to end up doing and who we're going to end up picking. Pete, wait, real quick. Do you have the results of our predictions?
Yes. So real quick, before we jump into our Wrestling of the Year stuff, we our predictions for the last pay-per-view. Lyn, you went 5-1. I went 4-2. So therefore, you are the overall winner for the year. You went 57-19. I went 53-23. So you beat me by 4.
Hey, you got better this year, bro.
I guess real quick though, I thought World's End was really fun.
World's End was a great show. World's End was a better show than I thought.
Yep.
I do feel like the two cards that really stole the show were definitely Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander 2, and of course, Ospreay and Okada.
Yeah.
I just did my 2 edits of the year for them too. So the Okada Ospreay one was like, I think I really showed my ass in my terms of my editing skills.
Yeah.
The only thing is it just came out so blurry that I was like, yo, why did it come out like this? Because it was a great edit. I added the Kenny Omega return.
Hell yeah.
And I had it like a flashback edit of where they had each other's matches. So the teeth obviously gonna be teasing that in the build-up for probably All In. Between Okada and Mega. That'll be probably like the 3rd or 4th match. But overall, man, I really enjoyed World's End, and that was a great show to wrap up the year.
Hell yeah. Couldn't agree more. I love the Statlander Mercedes match. I loved what Ospreay did, and so much so I think what Ospreay did, which was special, was his selling in the beginning before the Okada match even starts. It sets like the tempo for like, oh no, this guy is storytelling in every facet. Him even walking to the ring, taking a knee. At first, I was like, oh, something wrong with me. I was like, wait, I'm getting worked. Wait, I'm getting worked. This is great. So love that. I'm trying to think about what else I love. Pete. Oh, love that. Jay White ended up looking, strong-ish.
Yeah. I get why I like Mox 1. I was really hoping for a change of guard a little bit just to spice things up going into the new year. But then, with Edge coming back, Adam Copeland coming back.
No, Cope.
Sorry, just Cope. Sorry, I'm coping right now that he's just.
I'm hoping they change it because I don't like Cope either.
Bro, that is horrible. WWE just needs to give that man his name. Like, stop clowning, bro.
No, but like it makes sense. Like afterwards, like the trio stuff with Death Riders and then with Rated FTR, it makes perfect sense. I didn't have that on my bingo card, so I was a little like, oh man, Mox 1, and then this happened. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like it's fine. Like I
think this Death Rider storyline is going to take it probably to midway of next year. I think it's either set up either Kenny Omega comes back fully healthy, defeats Moxley to bring back the order of AEW, or they're trying to set up. In my theory, this is like setting up Darby Allin as their greatest babyface of all time, of having him finally win the World Championship. Since he's kind of like the 2 of that big 4 of their pillars.
That's literally what I told Pete in our predictions. I was like, they're doing.
Like I think it's kind of like Sting main event Mafia days or Sting WCW days where it was like NWO taking control of everything. So I'm curious as still like, is this a Shane McMahon storyline where that because there was rumors of that, so I don't know, but the Death Rider storyline is kind of like it's good. it's interesting, but it's not. It hasn't gotten you to that great area yet.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's like it's good. It's interesting to watch. You still want to tune in, like to see where it goes, but other times, like you haven't caught me in the gray area. Like, what is this plan outside of it? Things need to change.
Yep.
Like, what is the plan now?
Most interesting thing outside of in AEW, I say right now, after yesterday's Dynamite, Ricochet. Got to be Ricochet.
Oh, definitely Ricochet, man. Ricochet, definitely.
Dude looked like
I was.
He looked like the killer from Degrassi. Like he was
I saw that today on Twitter and I was crying. I was like, why they do him like that? But
then the blood on his bald head just glistened.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, why is he headbutting him? Like it wasn't even like good headbutts. I'm not trying to shit on it. Like overall, but like it did the job. Like you got the blood on the forehead and the laugh at the end, the evil maniacal laugh. Like I said, you know what? His heel run is starting to start. I'm starting to enjoy it because I ain't like it at first.
Yeah,
it's starting to grow on me now because I'm starting to accept it's a corny heel run. It's just this corny heel, and it's not even good. It's just corny, and it's the Jada Kiss laugh and all of that. It's like, yeah, I'm invested in this heel run.
Me too.
The shots that he tried to throw at wrestlers when they turn their backs, like he's like, yeah, that's why your house burned down. Like, yo, I'm crying.
It's good.
I agree with you 100%. And that all started with World's End. Swerve shouldn't have bullied him. Swerve should not have. But hell yeah. So Pete, we finished strong. I think we'll do well going into this year. We'll only get better at our predictions. But with that, let's get into our awards and our wrap up. I'll give the categories, and Pete, you can tell us where we'll begin. We got Men's Wrestler of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year, Most Improved Wrestler this year, Best on the Mic, Best Promo, Match of the Year. Wait. Am I reading the right things? No. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Best Promo, Match of the Year, Spot of the Year, Rivalry of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Booker of the Year, and Best Pay-Per-View of the Year. So, where would you like to?
Where do you want to start?
It's up to you, bro. Or we can let our guests pick whatever one you want to do.
Yeah, Josh, where do you want to start?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. All right, I'll start with let's go with Most Improved Wrestler. I did want to talk about that. I think that's an interesting one. For my Most Improved, I thought about this real hard. I think there was a lot of people on this list. But I got to give it to my girl in NXT, man. Jada Parker's been killing.
Great pick.
Great. Jada Parker to me is the Most Improved Wrestler of the year. I believe she debuted last year. For her to take the jump from she was last year to this, where she's basically in the main event scene, 2025, I think, will be the year. Jada Parker, she's definitely gonna have some gold around her waist before the end of 2025. It's like she's the full package, man. I mean, the look, the aura, the end ring ability is getting better and better. She's standing on her own against like Stephanie Vaquer and the Julias, and it's just like the rivalry with Lola Vice was good. And she like the match she had with Roxanne, which I think is kind of really like cemented herself. Like, oh, she's definitely like she's not even on the come up no more. She's here. So like, and she also got the men looking at her for obvious reasons, but she just has she's the full package, man. And you can see the trust in Shawn Michaels has in her, especially when it comes to the microphone, where it's like, yo, just go out there and be you.
Bro, he lets her grip.
I'm pretty sure she said nigga. I think
that's what I was about to
say. I'm pretty sure she said it, and I feared the next day she was probably gonna get hit, said something or terminated or whatever. That tells me, oh no, they let her be who she is.
Yeah, they're letting her cook.
Said, she didn't say igga. She said nigga. I said nah. Nigga, you heard me.
I rewound. That's like, exactly what I rewinded like 4 times. I was like, did she really just? And I was like, yeah, she did.
She's cussing on CW.
Yeah, like, CW's different.
Like, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, this is CW, right? Like, I'm not watching USA CW because I'm only imagining if they say put her on Netflix. I'm like, oh yeah, she's letting loose. She's going to be a star for many, many, many years, and like the sky's the limit for her at this point. I mean, I like her being paired with OTM as well because I think they need a manager. I'm hoping for a big year of OTM as well in terms of the tag team division. Obviously, they still need work on all 3 brands. Fraction holding it down, but like Jada Parker, man, just most improved. Like this is truly my most improved wrestler of the year.
Hell yeah.
Great pick.
Great pick. Very, very good pick. So, just brief side note. I love Jada Parker. I've never said this on this pod, which I don't know why I haven't. But she went to LSU, and Pete, I used to see her out downtown. Like when I would go to Baton Rouge, she would be out. So like, I'm not saying
I know she was an LSU girl.
Yeah, she was out at Tigerland, and like people know her in that sphere of going out in Baton Rouge. But I digress. Love your pick. I'm going someone also from NXT. I'm going Oba Femi.
That was my backup.
That was my backup too.
Debuted in 2023. The Ruler is now ends his year challenging for the NXT Championship. I mean, what more can you want from this guy? This guy has the total package in ring. He's this monster that Shawn Michaels has booked perfectly. He's great. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm not gonna say he's subpar. I've seen some people say that. I've seen some people say average. No, he is solid on the mic. Like legitimately can cut a promo, get you invested in him. And they want him to be this heel, but he's so cool that people bark with the Ruler. People start growling and they're into it. And Oba Femi is my most improved wrestler this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that pick. Great. She had a great year. Great run of matches too. 2024. Great run. Didn't have not one single bad match.
That was my runner up for sure. This one, my most improved was more along the lines of I thought someone was overshadowing him. I thought that he was getting carried a little bit in the storylines, and then sort of like the second half of the year kind of turned it around. I'm going Solo Sikoa.
Nice.
I really thought Jacob Fatu.
I'm surprised. I'm very much surprised, but that's a good pick. It's a good pick though.
With like bloodline stuff, I thought that he was getting carried a little bit. It was more along the lines I really wasn't focusing on him. And then when Fatu came in, I said it, I think, multiple times on the podcast where I was like, okay, Jacob Fatu is him. Like, we need to get rid of Solo and make Jacob Fatu the tribal chief. And Solo kind of like the fact that he sort of like reinvented himself and being a little bit more carefree, I think really opened up his character. And I think it opened up himself. And I just feel like he's more comfortable. And because he's such a mainstay player, in order to like, I'm not going to say completely reinvent yourself, but sort of when you're in the light that much and you, at least to me, the way you like kind of like change my perspective on you that fast says a lot. And so I just think of like where his position is in the company and sort of cementing himself as a mainstay player for like the upcoming future, I think was like the biggest factor for me of why he was my most improved, just because I don't feel like he's getting carried anymore. Like I think he can do it himself.
Great choice.
I think the thing that great choice as well. I think the issue was he was trying to be too much like Roman when he made him leader of the bloodline, and now there was a change. I don't know when it happened. There was definitely a change where you saw more. Maybe they talked to him back. They said like, don't be him, be yourself. Like be Solo Sikoa as if he's the leader of the bloodline.
Yep. Exactly.
And he's really let his personality out to the point now fans mess with him as leader. Obviously, he's still like going to be outshadowed by Jacob the monster, but his personality is what we're gravitating to. It's kind of like the real Ricochet. We're gravitating to your personality now.
100%.
I remember I messaged Pete on the Raw where he was like, "Oh, we got our tickets here," and he was doing. It sounded like the Rick Ross voice, the Khaled voice. He was adding his humor into it, and I was like, "Okay, Solo," and it just snowballed, and now, like y'all both have said, he's his own person now, and it's very, very good. Love both of y'all's picks. All right, Pete, where you want to go next?
You want me to pick the next one? Okay,
yeah, go ahead. I'll pick third.
Let's do. How about we like kind of we can combine these two a little bit. How about best on the mic and best promo?
Okay.
So we mentioned it earlier on our last podcast where I just think like overall between being a manager and on commentary, I thought this was Don Callis' year for best on the mic. I love everything Don Callis does. He's a combination of serious and goofy that I really enjoy in his work. Sort of building up Takesha as the alpha, I think has been great. I do wish that they would bring back his brown noise intro because I think that shit's just amazing. It's so bad, it's good. And then my best promo is The Rock beating the shit out of Cody in the rain.
Yeah.
Like the him cutting the promo while sort of doing that at the same time was just awesome. Like just a really fun time. It reminds me of like why I love The Rock, why I loved him when I was a kid, why I love him when I'm 30 plus years old now. It's like, it's everything about him. Like, he comes back and he takes over, and that's why he's one of the best of all time. So that's my best of the mic and best promo.
Great pick for both. Josh, you can go next.
Best promos really tough because there was a lot of great promos. I think Rock is definitely up there. One when he was beating the shit out of Cody in the ring. I love the Cody Rhodes one where he said "little dick syndrome."
Yep.
But I just Swerve had a bunch of good ones too. I think though the best promo goes to that segment on Raw. I want to say maybe it was the eve of WrestleMania 40. Drew, Steph, and CM Punk all in the ring. And they talked about how like, it was unscripted. They basically gave them hot mics, say what you want. And I remember the one part where Drew was sitting cross-legged on the announcer's table, and he said he was the chosen one. He said he was the chosen one, and CM Punk said, "Who chose you? Who chose you?" And literally everybody was like,
"That was a good one."
It was a good one. I was like, "Yo." That whole segment was just picture perfect. Even this past Monday with Punk and like just to start the year, Punk and Seth had a great promo just going at each other. But best on the mic, I will go to The Rock, man. Rock definitely had it's crazy because he was like short. It's like one of those short term like runs, but he put up 40 every time he was on the floor. And it was just like the Cody in the Rain, the go smoke some crack, and just like it was just like it was really like just like yo, he just had it. Like he's head and shoulders above everybody in terms of the mic, and it doesn't matter who you are. Even Drew was really my runner up for this. Like Drew until Pete said The Rock, and I just thought about everything The Rock did this past year, and this is like, yeah, it's him, Crybaby Cody's and all that, and it's like who can touch this man on a mic, man?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with Josh so much. We agree with both of those picks because when Pete said the promo of The Rock, I was like, okay, well, my best on the mic is going to be The Rock. But I didn't think you were going to go with the promo I was with, but I agree with everything you said. I had to give love to Drew and CM Punk somehow because maybe that's spoiling things later down the line, but I felt it was right to give him love here for best promo. And best on the mic, I was torn between Heyman and Rock. But it's like you said, when Rock was there, the energy was on 10. You had everyone tweeting about it.
Yeah.
Anything he said trended. Like Cody Crybabies was a real thing. The crack line, the songs, everything he did. And then to finish it off with, I'm going to put that blood on your mama, boy, while he's beating Cody Rhodes in the rain. Like, it was just amazing.
Like, fuck that.
He was incredible on the mic. So that's my best on the mic. And then the promo that Josh talked about where CM Punk said, "Who called you the chosen one?" I remember tweeting at that thing live. I was like, oh my goodness, he brought up Vince McMahon. This is insane. And this is like height of Vince try. Like this is height of the Vince.
Yeah, this is like very height of it. We definitely want to talk about Booker of the Year, but I'm like, yo, this is kind of like now Triple H kind of got the full reins, and we all wondering. And they don't say his name, but they say like, I hated the dude I used to work for, and it's like,
yeah, they talk shit on him.
Like this is insane, dude. Like this is insane. I've never seen this before.
So yeah, I agree with Josh.
Especially WWE of all places. So it really just shows how much the company's changed since he's left.
Facts, big facts. So okay, Pete. So then I guess I'll pick now. So we got our best mic and promo out of the way. Let's do. You know what? Let's show love to the tag teams. Let's do tag team and women tag team of the year.
Wait, we're doing both? I thought we just did one.
We just do one. We'll do tag team. Actually, no, we'll show love to the women.
I only have one.
I got one. I think we all got the one.
We got one.
I think I feel like we're all gonna have the same answer, but we'll see.
I don't think there's any other answer but this one team.
I don't know if I got what y'all got. So I went with Motor City Machine Guns. They won the WWE. Yeah, wait, I have reasons. I have all the reasons of what they done.
All right, let's hear it.
So I'm here for
Motor City Machine Guns. They won the WWE Championship. They made the move to WWE in a big splash.
That was a big deal.
Individually, Chris Sabin won the X Division Championship. Alex Shelley won the TNA Championship. Together, they won the CCW Championships, DPW Championships. They went on an independent run where they won some other stuff. And they had, let me see how many matches, star ratings. I'm not going to give you all the star ratings, but they had a very, very, very good year of highly highly love tag team.
Is that more individual stats than tag team stats?
I got both.
Because don't get me wrong. Like they're goated. Like they're one of the great tag teams of all time. They are definitely goated.
I wasn't giving it to. Like I know who y'all giving it to.
Because that's the obvious answer.
It was a down year this year for tag teams. So I want to show love to MCMG making the jump. I think that's big for 2024.
Because I feel like when you think of the tag team division of 2024, it was really just Fraxium who held most of it down.
100%, yeah.
That's my pick, and
that's my pick too.
Yeah. Like I feel like Young Bucks tag team reign was more so all in storyline and didn't really move anybody. Not to say they didn't have bad matches; they're always gonna have great matches, but it just didn't move anybody. When it came to the main roster, their tag team division was in hell. Still is in some cases.
Yep.
Raw is for sure.
Raw definitely is in hell, but we'll see what the Viking Raiders can do. War Raiders now. But I can't speak on TNA because I think they had Chris Sabin and Homeboy.
Yeah.
Then Chris Sabin eventually got hurt. So
they got Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Yeah.
Chris Bay, not Chris
up to Chris Bay.
Yeah, Chris Bay. So praise up for Chris Bay too. Hope he gets back healthy. But it's just like it's Fraxium. Fraxium, they did not again, not one bad match. They teased this storyline with split up, which is still going on, and we're like hoping they don't split up because you are literally the face of the tag team division, and not just in the developmental area, but of the entire company. You are the face of the tag team division till probably Triple H, whoever get this ball rolling in the tag teams. But it was just like it was kind of a disappointment year for me in terms of tag team.
100%.
Oh, it was 100%. That's why I picked MCMG because that was the only thing that made me happy with tag teams this year. That was a personal thing.
I just feel like 2025 needs to be a breakout year for tag teams. Hopefully, both companies get it fixed.
Facts.
But we'll see what Private Party can do in AEW. I'm happy for them, but they got to go on a big run.
And see what hurts my soul about that. Did you see what the Young Bucks came out and said? Like I think that was today or either yesterday in an interview that Private Party wasn't even supposed to win the tag team champions. It was supposed to be the Outrunners. But then, things.
I did see that.
It kind of makes sense when you look at what AEW was doing in there. They were really pushing the Outrunners, and then out of nowhere,
no, they were.
Private Party comes, and Pete, like Pete said down in one of the episodes, they didn't push the button at the right time for them.
I remember the week of All In, maybe 2 weeks before All In, and there was a podcast. I forgot her name. I'm sorry, but she talked about the state of the tag team division in AEW, how great it used to be.
Yep.
Where it was like, you had all these teams, and we were coming up on the tag team match at AEW at All In, which was the same 3 teams we've been stuck with, which was the Bucks, the Acclaim, and FTR. I think it was. That was the 3rd team, and it's just like we need somebody new. Jurassic Express is broken up. We done seen Death Triangle with Ray Phoenix and Pentagon, who's now going to be in WWE. I'm excited for that next week. But we know they're going to come in WWE, both of them. FTR is now just in, right now, no man's land, I want to say, till they figure out what's going on. But Bucks are on their break. Private Party right now is like you're facing your tag team, which isn't bad. I'm going to support my brothers, but it's just like, man, this tag team division right now is in turmoil. Like,
it's big time.
Like, and that's not saying WWE's better. Only tag team division is great is NXT only because of Fraxium.
I think I would agree for the most part. My pick is also Fraxium. I think that not only are they the best like tag team throughout the year, I also think they're like possibly like an MVP for like a specific company. I just thought the work that they did all year in NXT was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so consistent. The matches are usually always like really good at least. So I had a good time. I think that this could have been the year for somebody else if they stepped up to the plate. But like Jade and Bianca, I thought they had the opportunity to run with it, and I thought they fell flat. It wasn't like what I thought it was going to be with it.
It was star power. It was more so star power because they did try with the women's tag titles in between Jade and Bianca. They had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They did try, but it's just like it didn't take off. Like it didn't take off.
And I can say it now. They 100% only gave those women those titles because they knew Drew McIntyre was losing over there, and they had to give.
Oh yeah, because it was in Europe.
Oh yeah. That's we know that. Yeah.
Like that's Jade and Bianca should have carried it, and that would have made their storyline much better. But I digress. All right, Pete, which category you want to go with next?
How about rivalry of the year?
Okay.
Oh, man, this is a good one.
I'm hyped.
A good one.
I think there was a couple that were pretty good. I thought one, like I would say, my runner-up was Drew and Punk, but there was one part of that feud that really bugged me. That why it wasn't the winner. So I'm gonna give it up to something that made me fall back in love with women's wrestling in AEW. I'm going Toni Storm and Mariah May. I love
that. Was a great storyline. Great storyline.
Love their feud, especially sort of like the side stuff with Mina as well. It's just it was just fun. It was so much fun.
You've been the proponent of them all year long, brother. I knew this was going.
Man, Mariah was sort of, to me, like always playing second fiddle to Toni, and just how she just showed up and now it's like this mainstay in female wrestling in AEW. I personally didn't see it coming. And now she's like my favorite wrestler or female wrestler in AEW. Like I love Mariah May. I really liked her match with Thunder Rosa at World's Edge.
That was good.
It's just, I'm just constantly surprised by her, and their feud was accumulation of a great heel turn. One of my favorite matches of the year when Mariah won the belt. It's just, there's a lot of things to say about this. And then
the bloody Toni Storm phase, that was really great. That was by far the best storyline in AEW going into All In.
It was outside of Brian
Daniels.
And then Mina coming back and her turning on Mina,
that was that. I would say they cooked in that woman's woman's storyline. Like that was probably the best woman storyline I've seen come out of AEW.
Easily.
I love just Josh. I hated the bracelet part of the Punk and Drew stuff. If it wasn't for that, I feel
like it just dragged. And the only reason it dragged because Punk got hurt. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
but they did cap it off right.
I had a couple other issues, but it's that whole, like everything else was great. It was so good. I just did not like the bracelet.
What bugged me is they didn't, and they always mentioned it. Drew was like, "I'll tell y'all eventually about the stuff that happened in the past," but they never told us about the stuff that happened in the past. And I was waiting the whole time. I was like, "Was Punk a dick backstage?"
That's what Seth Rollins did that kind of made the rivalry even better with Punk. Like I feel like we're going to get that when he goes up against KO too, because I think KO is not going to be next. I think KO will be like the third after. It will be third. It'll be fourth because it'll be after Steph. I think it's going to be Roman, and then we're going to have KO. So I think that'll be SummerSlam, that KO rivalry. But in terms of my best rivalry, I had to actually fact check this to make sure it happened this year. I just had to make sure because it was. I feel like it was a long rivalry. It was a great rivalry, man. That's Swerve versus Hangman.
Yeah.
I think that to me is the premier rivalry in AEW. That is a true AEW rivalry. Everything else seems like it stems from other places, whether it be Ring of Honor, New Japan with Kenny Omega, or Kenny versus Kenny and Ospreay. That's all New Japan stuff. Most of it, even though Ring of Honor is still like owned by AEW, but this is a true AEW rivalry that started and festered in AEW. So, I mean, you think about from the Texas Death Match at Fools. Actually, that rivalry might have been 2.5 years. I want to say.
I was about to say I gave it to it last year, and I'm giving it
2.5 years.
This year. Like
it's all out 2024. I mean, that unsanctioned lights out match. I was just,
bro.
Wow.
And that man, like I told Pete last week, that man burned down his house. Like, what more do we need to talk about?
I was like, he burned down his house. I think I was kind of disappointed at first when I heard it was a steel cage, and I was like, I didn't want a steel cage. I kind of wanted really even though the rivalry brought it to a steel cage and really brought it to its unsanctioned that we was going to get very bloody and messy. Part of me still wanted that kind of like that traditional wrestling match. I really wanted to see who was going to really be the best out of two of them. But it got dark. Obviously, that was a dark match with the whole brick and the stake, and then you had the injection.
Yeah,
and
through the lip.
It
was just like it was
the
like
cheek.
Very. It got very. I was like, this is starting to become very cringy. And the good way though, not in a bad way, but like in a good way, cringy. It's like this is uncomfortable. But no, that's worth Heyman rivalry. I'll go as far as to say that that is the premier rivalry in AEW. That might be the closest thing they had to a Rock Austin, honestly.
Look,
like that would probably be the closest thing to a Rock Austin rivalry. Like the only disappointment is they never battled for a title yet. So,
and see, that's something
we gotta get that in the future.
That's something I wish Hangman would have, been in this title scene for that rematch. But I agree with Josh. 2 years in a row, ladies and gentlemen. This is year 2. Last year I gave it to Swerve and Hangman. This year I'm giving it to Swerve and Hangman. It is going down as this generation's best rivalry. There's none that come close to this. When Josh said Rock versus Austin, that's the vibe I get. I think every time I think of rivalry, I think of the Peacock show, WWE Rivals, where they talk about the best rivals that ever happened in WWE history. And I feel like, man, this is up there with one of those. Like when you think of rivalries, it reminds me of the All Japan rivalries too, with Kawada and Misawa. Like that shit is there. And like I said, the fact is the man burned his house down this year. There's nothing else that needs to happen. There's nothing else.
When he bought it, bro, imagine if you paid off the whole house, all that money gone now.
I'd be pissed. I'd want everything from him. I'm taking everything from you, and I'm ready.
Everything.
It's cooling off a little bit, but I definitely think they will revisit it because Swerve got to do some things, Hangman got to do some things, and I think when they do revisit it, it should be for the.
It'll be even better. Even better.
I agree. I think in that traditional wrestling match you were talking about, I think that'll be for the belt. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
That'd be sick.
So
they should really never be friends. Ever.
No, never.
Even 10 years from now, they should be they should hate each other.
Only had one traditional wrestling match, and that was the first match, I think, at what was it? I think that was Dynasty.
Yeah, I was about to say Dynasty. If it's not, it might have been Dynamite too. If it's not Dynasty,
it was like one traditional wrestling match at in Seattle. Might have been Dynasty. Maybe that it was the year that when Darby and Christian did that 2 out of 3 falls match. But everything else has been basically a blood match where it was like unsanctioned and it was Texas death match. I want to see a traditional wrestling match between the two of them, no interference. And I think that's when we get it. Like that, like you said, Lyndon, that it will be for the belt.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would love. All right, where should we go next? Josh, you get to go first for this one. You want to do Booker of the Year next?
We might as well get to that. That's the big one right there.
All right, let us know
the big one. Yeah, Booker of the Year is tough for me because I felt like Triple H had a hot year and then got cold. Tony Khan had a cold year, then got hot.
Yep.
And it just like there was only one consistent person. And again, they only really watched the 3 brands, which is just AEW, WWE, and a little bit of TNA. And about 2 brands really. But it's only been one person that's been consistent. That's Shawn Michaels. And to me, he go back to back. Booker of the Year.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. His women's division's
cooked. His men's division cooked until that latter half when like obviously he had the Rich Holland. He started putting Rich Holland in the main and all that. That's when it was like, all right, yeah, you need some help in your men's division. But overall, I mean, the men's division cooked, the tag division cooked because you had Fraxium. The women's division definitely cooked. Y'all had the best year to me. NXT is probably the best wrestling program on television right now.
Hey,
top to bottom.
I concur. Pete, you can go next.
Let's say since Black and Gold, I think this is the top of NXT. Mine's also Shawn Michaels. I think you made a good point, just the consistency, but the stuff that he's doing with the women's division, I think 2025 is just going to be like the year of women's wrestling in NXT. Like it's going to we got a good starting point.
And there's so
when we
many
start bringing all this talent in.
Like
I mean, like
loaded.
The first CW episode ended with like, what was that, the 4-way women's match? It's like like they're focusing on it. It's going to be their bread and butter. And I just think what he's doing in there to set up the future is incredible. And I like what Josh said, everything he said is correct. It was just like hot and cold, cold and hot. I just thought throughout consistent this year it was Shawn Michaels.
And I didn't even mention that TNA. I didn't even mention how he handled TNA, like getting some of those TNA
it was like Joe Hendry and stuff.
Like it was just Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace. So
and the way he handled Wesley and the Rascals, that was great too. Bringing Zachary Wentz back. So I'm with y'all. I'm going Shawn Michaels as well. Like that is the show legitimately. Like some weeks I may miss Raw, some weeks I may miss SmackDown, some weeks I may miss Dynamite. But you want to know something? Every Tuesday, I'm actually turning it on fucking NXT because I know something exciting will happen, whether that's with Ethan Page, whether that's with the Incredible Women, whether that's with Trick, whether that's with Fraxium. Like I said, he gives you something week in and week out. And gotta just applaud Shawn Michaels, man. He's cooking. They gave him the cooking mean for a reason in 2024.
Yeah, and
Agreed.
he's getting it again in my books. Like depending on again, we'll see what Triple H does to start the year. The same thing with Tony Khan. I kind of think they're gonna both start hot, and then we'll see how they progress throughout the year.
And Triple H was cooking early. Let me give him his flowers.
No, he was
cooking at the beginning of 2024.
He was big time cooking. It was his first year without Vince over his shadow. He was like, yo, basically now, you're in full control. You make the decision, and he was flat out cooking. You had the Rock storyline. He called audible. He made the right decision to call audible and giving back Cody the opportunity. Brought in the whole Rocks. Brought in the Rock and everything. Oh no, WrestleMania 40 was the best WrestleMania I've seen in years.
It was really good
from top to bottom. And then like second half, he kind of like dipped a little bit. Like it dipped. Same thing with Tony Khan, where it was like you were frozen solid. We didn't really tune in as much with us because we knew we're gonna tune in for pay-per-views because you're gonna deliver pay-per-views, right? And then later half of the 2024, all right, Ospreay's picking up. Swerve Danielson's champion now. Christian Cage has the basically their contract that can cash anytime. Moxley's back with the Death Riders, which has been going good. Like, and it was something else. Oh, and Hurt Business and Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate been cooking. Hurt Syndicate been cooking.
Yes, they have.
We heard people. We heard people.
Hey, they made Max Caster look like a bitch yesterday. Yeah. That shit was crazy.
Which I'm glad for because I'm tired of this. It's time to break them up, bro. Let's move on.
100%.
Let's move on. Free bones, man. Free bones. And one more thing. I will say the only reason I think Tony Khan could have had it I'm being biased on say if he booked Ricky Starks. Like Ricky Starks is like literally someone that is just you have him on your sideline doing nothing.
What are you doing?
It's like it's like you got that first round draft pick, but you're not playing him. Like what are we doing here, man?
Mm-hmm.
Hey Josh, we can definitely be friends, bro. Because Pete knows I've been calling.
That's Lynn's boy.
I've been calling.
I'm on free Ricky Starks
all day. Like, what are we doing? You have the learning tree on fucking television, and Ricky Starks is at home. Like, what are we doing?
And that's why he's not my booker of the year. I gotta continue to see Chris Jericho, which I think it's time for him to hang it up.
Oh yeah, that's something Pete's been saying. It's time for him to retire,
bro. At least from singles wrestling.
If
he wants to do 6 minutes in a tag match, sure.
But no,
I don't want to see Chris Jericho in anything unless it's a farewell tour of Chris Jericho.
Him and Cena both on their farewell tours.
Okay, so
like how the hell we get a Jeff Jarrett farewell tour before we got Chris Jericho?
Yo, right?
No sense to me,
bruh. And Moxley's just gonna destroy him. I know that's gonna. But I will say, if he wins that gauntlet, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna kind of be pissed.
I would be pissed too. I was watching that speech. I'm like, if he says he's going after the AEW World Championship, I'm gonna fucking lose it. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be like, Jeff Jarrett is a legend, a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest, especially whether it be like his booking talents, his promotional skills, and everything as that. Like he definitely helped wrestling. He definitely moved it forward. He doesn't get talked about enough. But boy, I'm like, bro, I'm like, can you go after the TNT title, bro? I'd rather watch you do that. I don't want to see you win the AEW championship where we're in the middle of this storyline. You not winning that shit. John Cena gonna win it because we want to see him break the record. You're not winning that shit.
Facts.
Interesting. I'm gonna save that for the predictions episode because I don't know. But all right, next up we got. So I think all we have left is men's wrestler of the year, women's wrestler of the year, match of the year, spot of the year. Yeah, I think that's it.
And
okay.
Pay-per-view.
Oh, and pay-per-view of the year. So let's see. Let's do pay-per-view of the year. Let's get a little hot. It's time to get a little hot and talk about pay-per-views of the year.
It's a lot of great pay-per-views this year.
I'm gonna go first with this one because I think I'm going chalk. And I just got to do it. Pete knows he's my guy.
WrestleMania.
Seeing him win the story. I am a Cody crybaby through and through.
Yep.
I remember when Rock beat his ass in the rain. Like that was just spectacular, bro. All of that was just incredible. But even the Drew winning the championship and getting cashed in by Damian Priest right away. I didn't realize that at the time, but looking back at it, that was great. The Rhea Liv shit was great. They had more than just Cody.
Io Bailey had a great match that nobody talks about.
Facts, big facts. Io is arguably the best wrestler in the world on the women's side, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going WrestleMania 40 as my pay-per-view of the year.
Okay. I'm gonna go the exact opposite. Well, same company, but I guarantee you nobody else has this pay-per-view. I don't think this is technically the best one, but it's the one I had the most fun with. Every match I thought was an absolute blast. I had so much fun, and then the ending of the final match was something kind of unexpected. My pay-per-view of the year is NXT Heatwave. It's the one where Ethan Page
won the championship,
won the title.
Oh, yeah. I love that pay-per-view.
That was that Fatal 4-Way. That was a great Fatal 4-Way too.
The Fatal 4-Way was great. The Obafemi versus Wes Lee match was super
fire.
fun.
Fire! Yeah. He tossed Wes Lee around like a rag doll, bro. Like that shit was insane.
That whole pay-per-view from top to bottom.
Good pick, Pete. Good pick.
Like maybe there wasn't like a 5-star match, but there was like 4 4-star matches. Like I had so much fun.
Crazy part was that also the Sol Ruka and Kaylani match too?
I Sol Ruka,
so. Yep, and then Roxanne.
I remember that. I remember that is a great pick because I remember when the day it happened, somebody went on Twitter and said that's not even like 1 3-star, 2-star match on his roster on his entire match card. Yep. That entire night, that Autumn had like 4 or 5 matches. Like 4 to 5-star matches.
And that's why Sean Payton, Lord, that's the Saints guy.
Sean Payton,
the Saints fan. That's why Shawn Michaels is Booker of the Year. Exactly. Because I could say Stand and Deliver was good too. Like just
Stand and Deliver with Mello
NXT and pay-per-views. Yeah, with Mello and Trick. Yep. Yeah, bro. That shit was cash.
What is my favorite? I might go with you and say WrestleMania 40 because I was like Cody finishing the story. Obviously, that's one of the best stories in WWE. Io Bailey, yeah, like in night one and night 2 definitely did a good job. It's just the crowd died in night 1 mainly because it was cold, and I know it was cold because I had friends that went, and I'm in Jersey, so I know how freezing cold it was outside in Philly. The only other one I can think was probably All In 2024 AEW where Danielson finally wins the belt.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a tie to me between the both of them. Like it's both great moments. But if I had to choose, I would go WrestleMania. I was invested in WrestleMania more, so I was invested in All In. Not to say All In was a bad show, because All In was a great show.
Week to week, Triple H had me watching everything during that WrestleMania period. I was watching everything, not missing nothing.
That was like 2 straight months, if not 3 straight months post Royal Rumble of everybody tuned. Even people that haven't watched wrestling almost 50 years were tuned in for that run.
Anytime Rock dropped something on Instagram, anytime Cody would tweet something, I was so invested. I was looking at his wife's tweets. Like, it got crazy after a while.
Like, that was a great run. It's just like, and if he continues to write WrestleMania season like that, he's definitely going to always be in the run for Book of the Year. But it's just like, that run, I was like, yo, you had, again, people who hadn't watched wrestling in 50 years, TikTokers starting to get on it. Everybody was
edits, so many edits.
The edits and just like don't even start on the edit. That got me. That was the night that got me into doing the wrestling edits. You had the Undertaker return, John Cena return. Everybody thought Stone Cold was gonna pop out. It was just like, dude.
Yeah, it was
like intense. Night 2 was by far the best night in wrestling history.
Yeah, it was really good. That was my runner-up. Like,
it deserves it, man. It really does. Like everything Josh said, like what it did, Undertaker, Cena, it was just special, man. It really was.
I was in a Twitter space that like 5 minutes after WrestleMania ended, just talking about games, just going crazy. Like,
bro, that's how great. After shows, I was in comments. Like, it was nuts. You couldn't get enough of wrestling at that point. That was the highest it's been in years, and that started arguably the hot streak of where we are today. So I understand, and I do like Pete's pick as well. Like Pete was saying, there was no 3 or 2-star match on that card. Heatwave was incredible, and just to finish with giving Ethan Page the championship, which no one expected. That was
and it's always the joke that NXT just Shawn Michaels playing his greatest hits, and it's just like, yo, no, there's no better booker to play his greatest hits than Shawn Michaels. Most storylines, if all the storylines and matches have been based off his previous matches in his career, so.
And all his shit.
And there was also one more thing. There was a joke that you know that Michael Irvin joke where he give his inspirational speeches and he look at the camera like, "Do what you supposed to do." And somebody said Shawn Michaels played that in the locker room, and they went out there and had 5-star matches.
Hell yeah!
I was like, yo, because I'm thinking I didn't think the card was gonna be that great. I was like, oh no, they are cooking.
Yeah, facts. All right. Next, let's do.
Let's do spot.
You want to do spot of the year? All right, yeah. Let's do spot of the year.
Y'all might have to get help carry me on spot of the year. It was
okay.
That's like,
I can start. It relates to my rivalry of the year, and it's when Mariah May took the heel to Toni Storm's head and busted her open with it.
Yeah.
I thought this is just the whole storytelling element of that was so good, and using the heel to bust open Toni Storm was some next level shit. I loved it. It was savage. It was brutal. Sometimes they like sugarcoat it when it's like with the women. I feel like they didn't do it at all. I felt like
I think the opposite when they don't sugarcoat the blood with the women at all. They just let them bleed, man.
This one I felt like Mariah was legit trying to kill her, which was like, okay, maybe put it this way. Normally, I don't feel like they're actually trying to kill each other. I felt like Mariah May was trying to kill Toni Storm. Like, I
know which one you're talking about. That's when she had the shoe and she was busting her. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was just, oh my god. That's what I was just like, oh my god, let's go! Like, it was so exciting. I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is what I wanted, and I got it. Yeah, so that's my spot of the year.
Bro, Pete, that's why we're co-hosts. You went with something that connected to your rival of the year. I'm going with something that connects to my rival of the year. Big Terry Funk, Cactus Jack fan. Bro, when Swerve and Hangman brought out that fucking brick, I was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we honestly doing? And when that man, I was like, oh, he's dead. It's over with. They used the brick against him. We are clowning. That is the spot of the year. Those two gentlemen just keep umping the ante every time they wrestle. And I don't know how they're going to do it if they do another one of those. I don't.
Yeah. They just got to keep upping the stakes. Like,
oh, man.
And Mox tried to do the bag thing. He don't realize they will up him. They are true connoisseurs.
They need to do like biological warfare against each other. Like,
I would definitely tell you, like, even All Out, the end. It wasn't end All Out. The end of that pay-per-view where Mox put it might be actually
All Out. It might be All Out. Yeah. No, because All Out ended with Swerve Hangman. No, it wasn't that one.
You're right. No, it was All Out because it was. I remember All Out was just it was also true. All Out just everybody died in All Out.
Yeah.
All the wrestlers died in All Out.
No, you're right.
Everybody just nearly killed each other at All Out. Like Mox put the bag over Danielson. Like, that got kind of dark. But like if I had to think of like a spot. I think Io and Zoe Stark's Michinoku driver and Money in the Bank off the ladder was a great spot.
Yeah.
Like I think that might be my number one.
Kills it, bro.
When I think that's a dangerous move to do up there and the trust that Zoe and Io have in each other to pull that off. If I think of another one, because he's a spot master. He's always trying to kill himself. Darby Allin Sting's finals match.
Oh yeah.
The ladder spot, crashing through the glass, blood looking like a human.
I forgot that was this year.
We thought he was supposed to go to the hospital.
Bro, that might actually be my spot of the year. That is my spot of the year.
That is Io and Zoe Stark to be my runner-up. Darby jumping off the ladder in the Young Bucks match, crashing through the glass and basically breaking. Darby gonna be in a wheelchair by the time he's 40. Oh, yeah. I ain't trying to be funny. Like,
that's serious.
He might be in a wheelchair about 40.
He's Bruce Willis. Maybe he's Bruce Willis from Unbreakable or something, but yeah. I changed my answer. That's my spot of the year. That spot was fucking insane. I completely forgot that was this year.
Let me give an honorable mention to Cody Rhodes giving AJ Styles that burning hammer in France, and when everybody was like, "Oh shit, it's the burning!" That was a great moment. And also, I got shout out all the Tiger Drivers, the Tiger Driver storyline. With having
with
Ospreay with
Danielson and Ospreay,
that shit was great. So just because when you brought up the Michinoku driver, I was thinking of Move. Because we all gave like gory spots, so like a move spot, all the Tiger Driver spots this year with Ospreay, and that whole storyline was great. And then just seeing Cody Rhodes bust out that burning hammer was like, oh shit, okay, he's fighting AJ Styles. So
yeah,
but
that was great. That's always gonna be a great year. But like Darby is the spot man.
No, you're right.
Whenever
that's the one.
Whenever you want to talk about topping his previous most spot, it will be Darby Allin. I just don't know how he's walking. So
hell yeah.
It's incredible. Sure. It's just like, dude, like that spot was crazy, which got him a lot of heat for obvious reasons. Because it's like you're jumping off almost a 40-foot ladder into glass. Like would probably looks to be real glass at that. No pun intended, but it's just like, yo, dog, like,
yeah,
there was probably you could have just used the table. We would have been cool with tables.
Yep.
Okay, so next, I think we could go either match men's wrestler of the year. Yeah, it's the big three. So you want to start off with women's wrestler of the year, and we go men's and then finish with match.
Yeah, let's do that. That works.
All right. Pete, you want to start us off with women's wrestler of the year?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is a clear cut for me. I loved what she did this year and what she's doing now. Somebody who I was down on for years and fell in love with her in a whole new way this year. It's Toni Storm. Like timeless Toni Storm was
great pick,
incredible, and now the whatever we're dubbing it, dementia Toni Storm, everything.
I love it. I'm already involved. I've already been invested
so good.
in it.
I forgot. I missed like the Dynamite or whatever when she came back, and Lynn messaged me. He goes, "Rock and roll, Toni Storm is back." I'm like, "Oh no!" And then, but he left out the part where like she forgot everything. I'm like, "This is insane!"
There's a clip. I hope you can find. There's a clip when she did an interview and she looked at Mark Briscoe. It was like, Mark Briscoe, I'm Toni Storm, and Mark Briscoe has like the most confused look on his face. He's like, "What?"
Yeah,
like he was like what? And I'm just crying. I'm like, yo,
she did.
I don't know if it's genuine or not, but that is hilarious.
Yeah, she did like an interview outside the Hammerstein and was talking about all these events that were happening, but it's from like some random date in like 2021. And just like the fact that like, you know, she's like researching what happened on this day and this year and be like, "Oh, I can't believe this happened yesterday." It's like, Tony, that happened 3.5 years ago.
Pick, man.
Hey, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's killing it. She's definitely killing it.
And look, I agree with you.
How I view her.
That's who I would give women's wrestler of the year to. I agree with you, but I just want to shout out somebody else for this pod. I'm shouting out Io Sky. She's the best in-ring women's wrestler, bro. What she did this past year was absolutely insane. And I don't care if any of y'all talk to me about those Survivor Series botches. Get out of here. That match that Io put on with Bianca was one of the best women's matches I've seen, just bell to bell what they were doing. Io Sky is fantastic.
Yeah, that backlash where Rico Metro does fire. Io is not on my list. Neither is Toni Storm. Both are honorable mentions. I got Rhea Ripley up there as the honorable mention as well. Okay. But I feel like this one doesn't get talked about enough, and I'm playing Tony Khan because she needs to be on AEW just as much as the Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander are on the AEW.
Great pick. I know
the Ring of Honor Women's Champions Athena has been tearing it up and basically keeping the lights on at Ring of Honor.
Yep.
That is the only thing I watch at Ring of Honor. It is just dog, they got Chris Jericho as the world champion again. I don't care about nothing Ring of Honor unless it has anything to do with Athena. She won that belt. She's been on a tear as a heel. The Billy Starks rivalry, which is also underrated and also in a great storyline department as well.
Really
Billy Stark, I think, should have won it at Hammerstein Ballroom. I think with that final battle.
Yep.
So I think Billy Stark is going to be getting it in 2025 at their next pay-per-view. But Athena's been tearing up. I don't know why she's not on AEW since I think her last big match was probably against Jade Cargill. Then he sent her down to Ring of Honor. But after this, you gotta put her on AEW, man. Like you talking about,
get up she had that final battle was great.
Dude, you want to talk about a Mercedes versus Athena? Like people like Athena versus Mariah May or Athena versus Toni Storm or Chris. Like Athena needs to be on AEW regularly. Like you haven't booked your women's division. That's why you haven't been. That's why you started off cold. Like your women's division really suffered this year in 2024. But dude, put Put Athena on there. Let her cook. Just let her cook. Give me a match. Ball up top. Give me who I'm fighting. Let's go.
Hell yeah. I love that pick. All righty.
Wait, Lynn, who was your women's wrestler?
Oh, I said I agree with you that Toni Storm should win. I just want to shout out
okay.
Io.
Sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah. No, Toni dominated last year. The best story in women's wrestling by far. You nailed it on the head. But I just want to shout out to Io. All right, men's wrestler. I'll go first because I'm chalk as well. This is chalk. Pete knows where I'm going with this. I got Cody Rhodes.
What? No way.
My guy won it all. And look, I know Pete about to come tell me about all of Ospreay's 15 million top star matches, which they were. Cody, I think, only had one bad match in his reign so far, and that's with Solo Sikoa because he was hamstrung to bringing Roman Reigns back. Other than that,
I'm about to say the second Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes match in Steel Cage. That's the fire. Like, it was a great match.
I'm talking about the SummerSlam one.
Yeah.
No, the SummerSlam one is buns. But if you go look at the AJ Styles matches, the Logan Paul matches, all those matches fucking cooked, bro. Like Cody was cooking. So I gotta give it to my guy Cody Rhodes.
I'm in utter disbelief right now. I can't believe the biggest Cody Rhodes fanboy picked Cody Rhodes. I should have wore the shirt.
I was wearing my anime Cody Rhodes that came on. Should have wore the Cody show.
Lynn spoiled my pick, but yeah, he had 8 5-star matches this year.
I don't care about AEW. Go ahead.
Came in the AEW, full force ahead. Has been an incredible presence. Love everything he does. It's Will Ospreay. It's just I love
great.
him.
Like I didn't expect him to talk
assassin
that well.
right there, baby.
Like
shout out to him.
When he came into America, he was cooking on the mic, bro. All that shit was great,
bro.
The Ospreay chants, like Ospreay during his theme song, is fire.
Ospreay.
Yeah, he's hella
amazing.
over. He. I think, in my opinion, it could be world champion by the end of 2025 as well. Should be. Man, it's a lot of good ones for men's wrestling there. You got Drew McIntyre up there. He had a phenomenal year. Damian Priest had a great year. I think people don't talk. I think he's an honorable mention.
Yeah, Damian Priest could have been comeback wrestler of the year or most improved wrestler. He definitely could have been.
Yeah, he definitely. I think his is not talked about enough. Gunther, obviously, for obvious reason. But wrestling, I think it's so. I think there's because y'all might have to help me out because it's really so. I think I'm gonna have 3 with. I think I got Cody. I got Swerve, and I think I got Ospreay as the
I was hoping you gave it to Swerve, TBH.
Like, it's really hard for, like, wrestler of the year for those 3 because all of them can make it. Even maybe Danielson because he finally won the belt.
Yeah.
Like, it's
his New Japan stuff, too, was cooking with ZSJ. He had a New Japan run. And you could argue Moxley as well because Moxley had a New Japan run, but people didn't like Moxley's New Japan run.
My thing with Swerve was just his run last year was just like god tier. Like he was my wrestler of the year last year for like a country
but that's the thing. Like he lost the belt at All In. Like what was All In? Summertime?
August,
August. When did he win the belt? That was at Dynasty, I think. Too.
Yeah, that was this year. He won it in 2024 too.
Yeah. He won and lost in 2024.
Like because I feel like his run carried into halfway of 2024, so he gets like half of those points.
Sure,
but it's like it's really weird with Swerve. I think it's between Ospreay. Now, if you're trying to like do a process of elimination, it might be between Ospreay and Rhodes, unless I'm missing somebody else that had like a really banger year that I'm just not talked about now. But I think I gotta give it to Cody because when you factor in the Brock Lesnar storyline, the 3 matches with Brock he did, which were great. You obviously have the Jey Uso tag team run, which that sure was still fun. Then obviously the back-to-back Royal Rumble when the first time someone did that. I think Spice and what was it, Cena or Austin?
One of them did that.
I think it was Austin was the last one. Yeah,
Austin. I didn't pick him to go back-to-back either.
I thought Punk was gonna win it, but Punk got
I thought Punk was going. I thought Punk was gonna win and Cody was gonna win that Chamber, but the go win Rumble. Almost gave up his spot to everybody say, "Nah, we're not doing that. We're gonna call audible." Because Cody Rhodes was not gonna be doing anything at WrestleMania if he gave it to The Rock because they were setting up Punk Rollins before Punk got hurt. But I think then ultimately finishing the story. He hasn't had a bad match outside of Solo Sikoa match at SummerSlam. The ring hasn't been boring, and now you got this KO rivalry which has been cooking. They're bringing back the power driver moves, so it's like. Yeah, it's just like I think, it's Cody to me. Osprey, the thing about Osprey is just that Osprey, like Osprey does what I always expect him to do. Like when I always have a saying, like when you see one Osprey match, you're just about seeing them all because he's going to be in a spot fest. Now don't get me wrong, he's improved in terms of his storytelling. He's been selling more of the injuries and things like that. I think his Okada match was definitely the best one I've seen of him. Outside the Bryan Danielson one, but like it's just when you see Osprey, you see one Osprey match, you've about seen them all. So I think that's the unfortunate moniker he has on him. I think eventually he'll get rid of it, or maybe he'll just stick with him, but he'll still be looked at as a great wrestler. But I will give it to Cody Rhodes this year. Cody Rhodes definitely had me invested all year. I thought he had it last year against Roman at WrestleMania, but they gave it for the record, which I understand. This is his year. This is like, and he's proven that I'm the face of the company, and I don't see him probably dropping that title probably till WrestleMania, if not post WrestleMania.
Yep, I agree. Same. I agree. Now, match of the year, I'm gonna be a little different.
This is really hard now.
I'm not going with WrestleMania. I'm going with the match that elicits the most emotion and reaction out of me. I thought they told a story in ring. I thought they were incredible. I'm going with Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson as the best match of 2024.
Okay.
I thought that match was incredible, bro. I was on pins and needles the entire time during that match. What Swerve Strickland showed in that match was he is a top guy of his era, in that he can look, Bryan Danielson normally carries people through matches. He carries Swerve. Swerve carried him. I stand on that for this match. And
I won't go that far, but
it was closer than normally with Danielson. But like Swerve,
no. I agree that Danielson carries a lot of people in matches. This is the one where I feel like he had an even dance partner.
That's the better way to say it. Yeah, like he had someone on his level.
There was someone else he had an even dance partner with, and this is my pick of match of the year, and that was Danielson Osprey Russell Dynasty.
Yeah,
that is when I tell you I was locked in. That was the only match I cared for during that entire match card. Locked in. I'm tweeting these boys tweeting. They going crazy. The crowd was invested. I was invested. The announcers were invested. Everything about that match was arguably that could have been, in my imaginary star list, that's a 10-star classic. That is truly one of the best matches I have seen. I wish I was there live for that match. That's how badly I love that match. I wish I was there live for that, because that was a true Hoopers match.
That match was great. That match was great. What you got?
I feel like I just feel like 100%. Like, I think Osprey Danielson is probably the consensus match of the year. I thought it was fucking insane. It was so good, but it wasn't my match of the year.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
Just based off of like some entertainment. And the biggest thing about this match was I didn't think it was going to be that good, and it ended up being incredible. But I'm going to teaser. I want to give some honorable mentions first before we do it.
All right.
Wrestle Dream. It was Takeshita, Ricochet, Osprey in a 3-way. Love that match. Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr.
Hey,
and Osaka was awesome. And then very recently from World's End, Fletcher Osprey. I loved that match. How Osprey just got his ass whooped, but still won. It was great.
And finally won with the style clash too.
Oh,
yeah,
loved it. Loved
his storytelling, man. In the ring, he's getting better and better.
He's getting better. That's the issue. He was never really good at storytelling in the ring. He's really cooking now.
That shit impressed the hell out of me, though. What he did at World's End.
Like even the selling, like in the Okada match, like he's
awesome.
Moving wobbly. It's like, yo, this is what fans have been asking for you. Not your diehard fans, but like the ones who are starting to watch. Like, yo, you finally starting to improve now. Now you're about to take your game to the next level.
When I saw him walking down the thing and just wobble and take a knee, I was like, "Oh, okay, we're carrying this. I see you, Osprey.
Yep,
we're telling stories, buddy.
This is what we need, bro. You about to take your games to the next level now.
Yeah, he's becoming one of those.
Match of the year, I think it was because of the whole storytelling element of the pay-per-view itself. It was at Bad Blood. These two had Bad Blood, and I thought that they settled it in blood. It's Punk versus McIntyre in the steel cage.
I can't be mad because that was my honorable mention too.
I love that match. I love everything I loved everything that it like was supposed to like symbolize at the Bad Blood. You had two people who just hate each other, the stuff that Drew was doing on like social media to troll CM Punk is like was next level shit. Like the heat was so good between this feud. Like they built it up for months, and it was just like continuously adding wood to the fire. Like I was thoroughly outside of like the bracelet thing, which I wasn't the biggest fan, but like it didn't like stop me from like hate. It did stop me from like liking this feud, but it was just they left it all in that ring, man. Like they killed each other. It was awesome. Like I love that match. It
the
was
fact that Drew had to get those stitches, bro. Like that just shows you what they were doing.
And that was he wasn't really supposed to bleed either. That was an accidental bleed, and he just kept the blood pouring, and he's begging. Like I remember
right
watching
call too on the time, and see if Triple H wasn't in charge, they would have stop that match like Bray Wyatt and clean that shit off. But Drew knew Triple H was going to let him cook. And it was the right call.
And that's the trust that Triple H has in his wrestlers versus like who's been in that position as well. Like you gotta let that keep going. But it's also a great job by the it's a moment. Like also great job by the referees too.
Getting tapped out by Bret Hart. That was Drew's moment. Like Ricochet kind of just had it with Swerve on Wednesday, his blood moment. Like anytime you can really get one of those blood moments, they mean something. And Drew had his.
It was also a big deal too because that was a big match, like very important match going in, not just because it was the end of that rivalry, but CM Punk had did a podcast prior with Ice Cube son with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and the dude from Rich Eisen podcast, which is a great podcast, by the way. That he talked about he wanted to bring back that brutality feel to Hell in a Cell and get away from that gimmick feel. And that's what he did now.
He did it too.
And he definitely did it. And I think now we're going to see the change that Hell in a Cell is now back to bring what Hell in a Cell should have been, the end of rivalry type matches where things have gotten really like this is it. Like things have gotten to the whole new personal level. Like there's no take back, there's no apologies. We ended in this cell and the implementation of blood. Like you have to bleed in Hell in a Cell. CM Punk being the old school guy he is and being learned how to be the best blader that there is in WWE knows he wasn't even like smudge blood. It was like blood. Like he was bleeding. So they did that match was perfect for what it represented. And it still I think was the highest match at WWE in terms of cage rating.
I think it was, yes. Yeah, I got 5 stars.
And rightfully so. It was damn good. I will say I know AJ and Cody is up there on like at Meltzer's ratings at least, but I don't know about are y'all going off cage match?
I guess whoever Meltzer uses, I guess.
Okay. But yeah, no. That match is rightfully so. Like, I didn't think you would pick it, Pete. I'm glad you did because what I've seen from like most people, the consensus 3 matches are the 3 matches we said. Like from everybody has their own preference, but those are like the top 3 matches of 2024. The ones we said, yours, CM Punk and Drew, Josh's, Danielson and Ospreay, and then Swerve and Danielson. So hell yeah, I like all of our picks. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming on the pod.
No problem.
Incredible.
We're
gonna have to have you back. Tell the people.
Oh yeah, invite me anytime. Like y'all I don't really have outside of some of my other friends. Like y'all the only ones I can actually talk wrestling with. So
hell yeah, we definitely will. Tell the people where they can follow you on social media and they can get your podcast.
Yeah, of course. You can come on anytime, man. Anytime. I see the One Piece shirt, so One Piece fan over here as well, like Straw Hat King. We had Pete on about talk about it, so I'm not gonna let Pete talk about One Piece anymore.
No,
but yeah, hey, I said it was fine. Like
we're not gonna have Pete talk about One Piece no more. But again, definitely follow and subscribe to these guys, man. They got a great show going on. You'll probably definitely see me more times in the future. Definitely, I definitely want to come back when post WrestleMania again as well. So we gotta talk about that because I'm excited for this year's WrestleMania. Even Raw on Netflix. You had me on shoot after the post show for Raw on Netflix, man, because I definitely want to talk about that. Definitely that's going to be a big deal. I gotta think 2025, I think is a very important year for Triple H. With arguably me, or every year is gonna be very important because you gotta kind of surpass what Vince has done. Yep. Not in the past, present, and even earlier on. But I think 2025 is a big year because now we're seeing a lot of branching of WWE moving on to different companies, which Vince was very like big against. Like he's like,
look at Omos.
I'm like Omos. Like I'm really hoping Omos comes into the New Day storyline to go the team up with Heel New Day. That is my fantasy booking right there. I would love it. I also love how he's using the Heel New Day. I love like that might have been one of the best moments of the year as well. Honorable mention for segment of the year because that was a shocker to everybody watching it. That was a double heel turn. Didn't expect it. I think 25 is going to be a great year for WWE overall. I think TNA is about to lose some of their people, and they're going right up to either Orlando or Bruce or Connecticut. So they're heading right up to the main roster NXT, and Jordan Grace is definitely being one of them. Joe Hendry most likely as well,
and hopefully Josh.
Oh my God, Josh Alexander will cook wherever he goes. Wherever you talking like you might have two Kurt Angles on your roster with Chad Gable and Josh Alexander.
Yeah, good call.
Like you talking about two killers. Oh my God. And he's a hooper. But like I think AEW's in for a big year as well. They're officially streaming on Max with Collision now. I think that their library is about to go to
the Max
also
the first
headed to the first years there. So I might check out some of that, relive some of the earlier moments. But again, I really want to see what this Death Rider storyline going on. I think this is right now their biggest storyline that they've ever had in a very long time. Might depending how it ends and where it goes, they might be the biggest that they ever had. Right now that is their bloodline, but again, they need to hit that great moment. So we need to see what Moxley's planning because carrying around the title in a briefcase for X amount of weeks now and the X amount of pay-per-views, no matter how great the matches will be, we got to figure out what is the plan for this. And again, yes, the fan theory is Darby Allin's going to dethrone him, but what is the angle? What is the angle for Mox overall outside of changing AEW? So I'm excited. I'm excited for everything. Like Mercedes Moné is probably going to get into the main title picture eventually.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully. I think it's time for her to get into the main title picture.
I think she's trying to be belt collector. That's what I think. I think she's.
When she said she was
the Rev Pro shit. Yeah,
that's where I was like, okay, she's gonna be the female belt collector.
She's doing her Kenny.
Yeah, but Kenny's back next week, and Kenny's back, man. Like Kenny's back.
That's just gonna be great.
Can't wait.
Like I've been like praying for this. Like when's Kenny coming back? But definitely, I'm really excited for both companies. Overall. Hopefully TNA can catch up. They were on a hot streak and then they fell flat. Obviously re-signing. So we'll see where it goes. Right now, I'm excited. I think 2025 is gonna be a great year for wrestling again. So
hell yeah, brother. Let the people know where they can follow you at on social media.
Oh man, y'all follow me on Twitter at JoshCounts1. And you can follow me on Twitch at RTJosh124. We're about to get back to streaming later this weekend, in fact. So we're gonna get back to. I've been playing Pete knows a lot of Marvel rivals, so we're going to try it, especially with the new season about to start. Fantastic Four's coming. I do play a lot of Tekken, so we're going to be working on some new characters as well in Tekken. And you can follow me, of course, as Pete knows, on Afro Anime on YouTube and on Twitter as well, Instagram, Afro Anime Pod. If you follow us, man, you're going to love us, man. We are
super fun.
Like funniest funniest podcast out there. Like.
Absolute blast. I was in tears sometimes. You guys are hilarious.
Thank you. And like Pete, again, welcome on anytime. Lyndon, welcome on anytime. Just give me a message. We'll set up a date. Like, follow, subscribe, man. We're trying to. I got the goal to get us to 300 subscribers for the end of the year. We made it to 100 last year. We're gonna try and triple it, in fact. So, but yeah, that's me. That's it, man.
Hell yeah! Make sure y'all go follow Josh. Check out all of his amazing content. Pete, tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
Yeah, best way is Twitter. What do you say, Annie? What do you say, ANI on Twitter? Otherwise, on Bluesky, it's just Anime Podcast. So I'm really happy that I stole that first from everybody.
Every time I see it, I'm like, Pete got it, bro. Every time I see it. But shout out, y'all. Make sure y'all go follow Pete on Bluesky. Make sure you check out his podcast. But shout out to all the listeners who come in from Bluesky. I see the traction. Y'all are fucking killing it on this pod, coming here, going to the YouTube. Shout out to all of y'all. There's really a wrestling community on Bluesky. I thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it.
I am on Bluesky as well at Joshua Counts 1 as well. Bluesky. I post a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot. I'm trying to get more on Bluesky. I'm into the wrestling and gaming, obviously, and comic books. I do read a lot of comic books, and I do a little thing I always do on Twitter and Bluesky Comic Book Wednesday where I post my readings of the day. Sometimes we'll be posting panels like what's like the hottest thing in that panel. So definitely check those out as well if you're into comic books.
Hell yeah, I'm definitely gonna give you a follow on Bluesky right after that because that's right up my alley. I fuck with all that. And
thank you.
So you can follow us at follow me at LynBWT on either Twitter or Bluesky, and you can follow BrosWhoThink at BrosWhoThink on Twitter or Bluesky. And until next time, y'all have a good one and peace.